Alright guys, welcome back to another video. So, I'm a huge fan of the X-Men 1997 cartoon. Like, it's the best version of that series and of X-Men ever. So, Comic-Con 2023, IGN was there and they actually learned something new about it. So let's check out what they learned.
Marvel Studios mostly sat out this year's Comic-Con, doing little more than releasing a trailer for the Marvels during the show. But there was one upcoming Marvel project that made a surprise appearance at the convention. Fans lucky enough to attend the Designing the X-Men This Week in Marvel special event panel were treated to updates on the animated series X-Men 97, straight from producers Bo DeMaio, Jack Castorena, and Larry Houston. There was even new footage shown of this hotly anticipated X-Men revival. Unfortunately, the new footage isn't being released online, but that doesn't mean we can't dive in on what was shown and what we learned.
So they're making a new X-Men cartoon series? I hope to God it's produced by the folks that did this.
About X-Men 97 at San Diego Comic-Con 2023.
Don't be fooled by bleeding heart mutant appeasers! We are at war!
Cyclops! I know how you feel about it, Wolverine, but...
While the original X-Men the Animated Series featured cameos and guest appearances from a host of Marvel heroes, the core roster of the team never really changed. The team was always comprised of Professor X, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Wolverine, Storm, Beast, Gambit, Rogue, and Jubilee. The roster is one element that's definitely going to change in X-Men 97. We already knew that Magneto is stepping in to lead the team in Xavier's absence. That much has been set up in the series finale and confirmed in early teaser art for the series, where you can see Magneto wearing his infamous purple M costume and at last year's San Diego Comic-Con. But at Comic-Con 2023, we get confirmation that both Bishop and Morph will officially be joining the team. Both characters appeared in multiple episodes of the original series, but Bishop never became an official X-Man despite playing key roles in some of the series' most important storylines. Now it appears the time-traveling mutant will be sticking around in the past for an extended period, and he's got a new, shorter hairdo to mark the occasion. As for Morph, he was technically part of the team in the series premiere, but as fans will remember, Morph was killed by the Sentinels in that episode and then revived and brainwashed by Mr. Sinister in Season 2. Morph has a new look for X-Men 97, sporting the stark, white, hairless head seen in Marvel's Exiles comics. So that may be a clue as to his evolving powers and mental state. These aren't the only two characters joining the team in X-Men 97. Sunspot is also appearing in the series, a nod to Marvel's classic New Mutants comics. Jubilee is no longer the new kid on the block.
What is that thing, anyhow?
Everything revealed about X-Men 97 so far suggests fans can look forward to a lot of returning villains. That includes favorites like Mr. Sinister and the Hellfire Club. But even though Sinister has been confirmed to be the central villain of Season 1, the Comic-Con footage focused on a different group of villains, the Sentinels. Both clips shown during the panel focus on the Sentinels. In the first, Cyclops is seen interrogating Sentinel director Dr. Bolivar Trask, who taunts the X-Men for being able to make him talk. That's when Jean Grey steps in to perform some psychic interrogation. However, she encounters difficulties inside Trask's mind and is ultimately stymied by a vision of the Sentinel Factory Master Mold. Spurred into action, Cyclops calls out, "To me, my X-Men!" In the second clip, the X-Men are aboard the X-Jet discussing what to do with the captive Trask. Wolverine suggests chopping him up, which leads to some classic Wolverine-Cyclops banter. The jet is then attacked by a Sentinel, and the team's flyers help escort the others to safety. Cyclops, however, opts to use his optic blast to slow his descent and makes a classic action hero entrance. The X-Men never quite eliminated the threat of the Sentinels in the original series, and it's clear that these massive mutant-hunting robots are back with a vengeance. It remains to be seen if the other Sentinel characters will appear in X-Men 97, like the futuristic Nimrod or the hybrid villain Bastion.
What?
The The first clip shown at Comic-Con contains another important plot detail. Jean Grey is visibly pregnant in the footage, hinting at a major storyline to come in Season 1. The big question at this point is which baby Jean is carrying. Suffice it to say, the Cyclops Jean Grey family tree is extremely convoluted in the comics. There, Jean technically has two children, Cable and Rachel Summers, but Cable's real mother is actually Jean's clone, Madeline Pryor, while Rachel is Scott and Jean's daughter from the alternate Days of Future Past timeline. Again, it's all very complicated. We'll have to see how much of this backstory makes its way into the animated series. The fact that the actual Jean is pregnant and not a clone or a futuristic doppelganger suggests X-Men 97 may be opting for a more streamlined version of the original source material.
So are they remaking the series in like a newer format? Or is it like it's 97 is when that original series came out, right? Huh.
And that's probably for the best. But still, the question remains, is her baby Cable or Rachel? Or could she be pregnant with twins?
My people, it is time!
X-Men 97 still doesn't have a firm release date. While a fall 2023 release window was revealed at last year's Comic-Con, the lack of updates on that front suggests the series may slip into 2024 at this point. However, we did get one piece.
I would say by May of next year, you're going to see this. Probably June, right when kids get out of school.
Some good news at Comic-Con 2023. Work is already well underway on X-Men 97 Season 2. Production is going really well. We're just in post-production on Season 1 and right now writing the finale for Season 2, DeMaio told Marvel.com, and I cannot be happier. This further confirms that X-Men 97 won't be a one-off revival, but we'll get at least 2 seasons on Disney+. That said, it may be some time before we actually see Season 2. If the new season is still being written, we assume the voice cast has yet to record their dialogue, and if the series is affected by the SAG-AFTRA strike, that could further slow down the timetable.
Man,
Must be a sale.
I'm looking forward to this because like a reimagining and maybe like an expansion on the original stories from the original cartoon. I mean, I grew up with this show, literally.
No trailers or footage of X-Men 97 seeing wide release yet, fans have had to turn to other outlets for a glimpse of the new series. The X-Men 97 toys have been our best source of information and art for the new series, and fortunately there was plenty on the toy front at Comic-Con. Hasbro revealed an entire wave of Marvel Legends figures inspired by X-Men 97, and the lineup included Wolverine, Rogue, Gambit, Bishop, Magneto, and Storm. We also got a look at some of Hasbro's other X-Men toys during a tour of the Hasbro Press Breakfast event. These toys give us a better idea of how the characters will evolve visually for the new series, including new hairstyles for Storm and Bishop, and confirmation that we'll still see Magneto in his classic red and purple costume. That'll have to be enough to tide over fans until Marvel finally releases an official trailer for X-Men 97. Magneto in his styles for Storm and Bishop, and confirmation of how the characters will evolve visually for the new series, including new hair.
Okay, so she's got a mohawk. She looks exactly the same. They look exactly the same. Cool.
Hairstyles for Storm and Bishop, and confirmation that we'll still see Magneto in his classic red and purple costume. That'll have to be enough to tide over fans until Marvel finally releases an official trailer for X-Men 97. Are we feeling the hype for X-Men 97 yet?
Yeah, for sure. Damn. So that's really interesting. Thanks IGN for the footage, by the way. But dang. That's really interesting stuff. What do you guys think of a new X-Men cartoon based on the 1997 cartoon? Awesome.